So in the previous video, we just created the menu. Now it's time. I think the first of all, we should create the Redux toolkit RTKquery as we are gonna use it. Is because we need data to come from backend to frontend. We should create the API first because it would be convenient for us because we have to interact or play with the data. So for that reason, I think that first of all, we should set up the Redux toolkit or RTKquery. So here is a setup guide what you can do. So first of all, you should include npm install Redux toolkit and React Redux. Okay, let's go and do that. So I'm installing it. Npm install React Redux and Redux toolkit. So there is a development or configuration guide, and you have the JavaScript and TypeScript also. So what you need in the source folder, you need app and store.js. So go to the source folder. So go to the source folder and create a folder name, say Redux. We are giving it Redux, and inside Redux there should be a store.js. Okay, so inside Redux there is a file name store. It should be stored. This is the convention store.ts. It is a ts file. So store. This is the convention. You have to give it exactly as it is. So I am bringing the code over here. Cannot find module. React toolkit. So it's not getting the module. Let's see whether we Redux toolkit. Oh yeah. So what do we need to do? We should come in the main dot css index, and in the so you should come in the main dot tsx and add this configuration. Otherwise it will not work. You should come and you should wrap the app by provider, otherwise it will not work. So this is provider. I am wrapping the app by provider, and you should bring the provider. No, you should bring the provider. You see, this is the provider and store. Oh no, I am taking only the provider because store is not matching with our structure. So I am just bring the provider over here. Provider should come React Redux, okay, and store should come Redux store.ts. So there it is showing some error. So cannot find React Redux or corresponding type declaration. So it needs type declaration. So what it is saying, I'm copying that and pasting in the Google. Let's see. We need maybe type declaration. Okay. Cannot find TypeScript. Or if we can give the types, let's see if we install the types React Redux, will it help or not? If no, I am solving the issue, no problem. To debugging this problem and solving the errors is a common practice of our everyday life. We should not be scared. Still now I am getting the error. Let's see. Oh, sorry. My bad. Damn. What I am doing, you see, I am installing in the backend. So great mistake. So it's a backend. We should them great mistake. So we should uninstall these things from backend and come to the front end. Okay. So cd front end, and we should install it in the front end. You see, this is front end. We should install it in the front end, and I am uninstalling from the backend. So my bad. Sorry for that. Redux to right now we are in the front end, and you have to be very careful where you are installing your dependencies. Otherwise, it will give you a lot of errors. Okay, so you errors of the see. Previously it was my wrong. I have installed the dependency in my backend. That's why it's showing a lot of errors. You see, this is Redux toolkit and React Redux in the backend. So, them. This is very silly mistake. So I need to uninstall these things. I am doing that. But you need to be cautious and careful whether you where you are installing your dependencies. So right now I am adding my dependency Redux toolkit and React Redux in the front end. So errors are gone. So this is the bare minimum configuration file. We have the Redux, we have the store, and what we did, we are including our Redux toolkit in the main.tsx. Okay, so provider and provider. You should bring the provider from Redux store.ts, React Redux, and store from Redux store.ts, and you should wrap your app, I mean entire system by provider. So right now Redux will work, and if you go to the browser, say npm run dev, you will see your Redux toolkit or store over there. So if you come over here, you need to have Redux. Okay, so it will come over here. If you don't have Redux, I mean Mozilla or Google Chrome extension, you have to install it. Okay, so we will get all of our things over here. Okay, okay, time by time we will show. We have to configure everything. So this is the bare minimum configuration, and another thing I need to add over here, that is two file, and one is API for our API, and another is reducer. You have to have basic understanding of Redux toolkit or RTKquery. So not worry, as we go along, we will make you try our level best to make you understand. Okay. So no more today. See you in the next tutorial. So now it's time to create some APIs and reducers. So I have written some code for the user API. So this is almost like a boilerplate code. So if you don't understand the code, don't worry. I will make you understand as we go along. So even though if you don't understand, you have the option. Mm, I will be highly happy to serve you to answer your questions. Hit the question in the comment box. So what we need? We need Axios. So first of all, install the Axios, npm install Axios. So solve this problem part by part. So after Axios, in the root folder inside the source, we need types declaration, as it is TypeScript project. So types. So inside types, there should be API types.ts. and it need another reducer types. Reducer types dot ts, excuse me, and normal types declaration types dot ts. So we need type declaration in this code. See, say we have a message response in the builder mutation and user. So first of all, declare the user. Okay, so export type user. So for user, what we need? We need name. It is optional. String. Then what we need? We need email. String. Then we need password. It's also string. We need phone. Question marks means optional. If you don't provide the phone, it will not complete. TypeScript will not complete. Not the form validation. Now, then photo. Photo should be string. And we need password phone. Are we providing phone? Photo. So we need role string. We need token. String. We need is band. We wanna band the user is band. Boolean. It will be true or false. Boolean. Okay. So right now these things are needed. If it add or delete, we will come and do some the necessary stuff. Okay. So we need export type in the API. What we need? We need message response. You see in the API we need message response type declaration. We already declared user. So now it's time to message response. So in the response, what we are getting? Message response. Okay, in the message response, what we are getting? We need message string. We need user. User should be user. Okay, it will come from types. You see, it's suggesting us. We need user. We need token. Token should be string. So this is message response. And what we need? User response. So another thing, we user initial state and user. So we are getting user. No worries, we will create user. This is the user. So I am removing it and importing it once again. I think it will be solved. It will come from types. And reducer types, we need user reducer state. So reducer. So export interface user reducer initial state. So it is user equal to user or null. So loading boolean. token string now. So user will come from user. Okay, user response. User response. So here we'll get user response. So where it is giving error anymore. So I am bringing it, I'm removing it. And message response will come from types. User will come from user types. Okay, error is solved from this file. What is Axios is declared never read. Okay, so we don't need Axios right now. So where is the problem over here? User initial state. So I am removing it. And bringing it back. So all errors are solved. Okay, so what we did, we just give some boilerplate. So if you don't understand the code, don't worry. I will make you understand everything as we go along. I will even console log what the data we are getting in the state, in the action, everything, and what the user API getting. And another thing we need byte server, right? ENB byte server. As it is a big project, so in the root folder we need env file. Okay, so in the env, maybe it is in the root folder. Yes, so we need server, and byte server will be http localhost. We are using 9000. Okay, so run this front end, npm run dev. Let's see, we're getting any error. Yeah, it's working, so no content is there, so it's not showing anything. So we have no error. So what we did, we are user API. This is the boilerplate. This is the prepare header, and we want to send token in every request. So that's why it is. Can you remember when we use Postman, we are sending token with some request. Those routes have the middleware like require sign in or is admin. We send token. Say my order, all order. So when we create new coupon, can you remember we have used the token? So from the front end, if you wanna send token with every request, you need to write like that. So it will send authorization. You see, this is the authorization and this is the token. So it will send token with every request as a header. So this is for header and this is for course. Header set course. Otherwise, it will give course error, cross origin resource sharing. So our front end is 5170 port, and our front end is using 5173 ports, and the back end is using 9000. So it is a mismatch. So it will give course error, cross origin resource sharing. To solve this error, we need this course configuration. And another thing we need, this is for register. We are sending post request with the URL. I mean, with the URL, it will add as a and we think we need this slash and slash register like that way. Okay, so just we are giving slash and register will come from here. Register will come from here and login will come from here. So we are providing slash with the env file. So, and this is the reducer. So if you don't understand reducer, no worries, I will come back. And another thing you need to do, user login mutation, or another thing you need to do, and that is you have to connect the user login mutation in your store, otherwise it will not work. Okay, so in the next video we will start working and connect our files in the store and uh, create the register or login files or functionality. Okay, thank you very much. See you soon. So welcome back. Now it's time to connect our API and reducers to our store. So for that, I think these things are not needed for us. We are removing the comment, and in the reducer, we want to say user API, user API or reducer path, user API dot reducer. Okay, so we need to bring user API from API user API. Should be user API. Okay, so problem is solved. And I did one thing in the API. I have used all the capital letters. User API. Previously it was user API. Previously it was a small letter. So another thing we need, and that is middleware. Middleware equal to get default middleware, get default middleware, get default middleware. Okay, and get default middleware, serialize callback equal to false, and we need to concat our API. Okay, so user API dot middleware. So we are connecting our user API user API. It's giving fault. Okay, we will solve this, but I think our user API is connected properly. It should be API user API, or let's see, API. It's giving error. Okay, bring the user API. Okay, so we are connecting. So our user API first and the middleware. So if you don't understand what I have used, why I have used middleware and everything, let me know. Then I will. This is the basic configuration. This is almost like a boilerplate code. So even though if you don't understand, let me know, and I will let you know. Thank you very much. So user reducer is giving error is because in the store we have not connected user reducer yet. So connect it, user reducer dot name and user reducer dot reducer. Okay, so now there is no error over here. And why I'm using name, why I am using middleware, I have the explanation. Don't worry, I am coming here. So if you do it, I hope you will get the configuration. You see, you come here, come over here and refresh it. You will get the Redux basic. You see, this is user reducer. This is empty, and reducer and API. You will get API and reducer. It's coming from here. It's coming from here, the store file. Okay. So previously the total place was empty. Now you are getting API, though the things are empty as because we have not added anything over here. So we are getting the reducer and the user API. So we are successful up to that place to connecting the middleware. And let's see why I have used middleware. I have used reducer path and name. I have the explanation over here. So this is the code. So why we are using reducer, this is almost like a boilerplate code. So user API reducer is a string that uniquely identify the user API slice in the reducer state. So user API reducer is the reducer function generated by the created API to handle the API release tested, like caching API response. So it's suggesting and given by the Redux toolkit as like a boilerplate. So there is the explanation. You can come and have a deep dive, and you have to basic understanding about the Redux toolkit RTKquery to dive into the deep of this project. Okay, so why we are using name? So using reducer name ensures that key in the state object matches the name of the reducer slice. It makes it easier to reference the part of the state in your application code. It also helps avoid hard coding the slice name in multiple places, which reduce the risk of typos and make refactoring easier. So that's why we are using name. And why use middleware? We are using middleware in Redux to use to handle side effects such as making asynchronous API calls, logging actions, or managing other non-pure operations. This middleware provided by the user API is essential for the handling the life cycle of API request. By concatenating this middleware with the default middleware, you ensures that the store can handle these advanced behaviors while still benefiting from. So if you need to understand more, you can go to the Redux Toolkit official website, and you will get every detail over here. So you can understand, or you can see the YouTube videos or article, read the articles and have a understanding of everything. So this is a boilerplate code. So I am connecting and I am getting this over here. So if you don't get over here, it means that you fail to configure it properly. So if you get it, it means that so you are successful and done what you needed to go ahead. Okay. So from the next tutorial, we will create the login registration functionality, and we will interact the database, and we will retrieve the data from backend to frontend, and we'll send also the data from frontend to backend. So this will happen. Okay, so see you in the next tutorial.